Senior Showman, Heat 1. All right, Senior Showman, Heat 1. Heat 1, Zach Beam, R&B Bigler, Grace Bremer, Becky Killick, Charlie Grove, Sarah Homan, Olivia Kiefer, Jenna Kirby, and Katie Miller. Qualifiers from Heat 1. Ivy Bigler, Grace Burmer, Becky Killick, Jenna Kirby, Katie Miller. Senior Showman Heat 2 into the ring. Maddie Musser, Mitchell Musser, Braden Myers, Jolene Patton, Jackson Reich, Austin Smith, Emma Wagner, Taylor Wagner, Mason Wickard. Up next, champion Senior Showman. Our judge for the Market Goats once again is Mr. Jonathan May from Man's Choice, Pennsylvania. He's the owner-operator of May Family Enterprises, a club lamb and commercial cattle operation. He's a member of the 2004 Penn State Livestock Judging Team and currently runs May Insurance Enterprises, a crop and agribusiness insurance agency. Thank you so much for coming out and sorting our animals for us today, Jonathan. Let's give him a round of applause. Welcome him to Shippensburg. Thank you. Qualifying for the senior finals, Braden Myers, Jolene Patton, and Mason Wickard. Ready for our final drag for the senior showman. Ivy Bigler, Grace Burmer, Becky Killick, Jenna Kirby, Katie Miller, Braden Myers, Charlene Patton, and Mason Rickard. Intermediate showman, you're up next. Intermediates are divided into 3 heats. The first heat is Blake Bear through Brinley Gamble. Blake Bear through Brinley Gamble. Second heat, Caitlin Garvin through Emily Myers. Caitlin Garvin through Emily Myers. And your third heat, Jordan Naylor through Kayla Zelafro. Intermediate showman, you're up next. Heat 1, Blake Bear through Brinley Gamble.
Another really nice set of senior showmen out here. The two young ladies, I think, rise to the top. One of them is going to win the drive. I think you got better as the heat went on. In the beginning, you were kind of having a problem getting this one calmed down. It wasn't really playing real well for you. But as it went, you got better, and that goat kind of settled in. And I really appreciate that, and you really hung in there and did an excellent job. I think you did a really good job on that side profile, keeping that goat's head and neck up. You really get into that side profile in terms of the brace, really makes that goat look nice and balanced. Probably have to mess a little bit less with the legs in terms of being efficient and getting it there. Probably do a little bit better job when you get around the ring in terms of keeping that head and neck up. Now, your goat may not be as secure when we're walking around the ring, but I think you did a good enough job there to get into that first hole, so a really good job overall. Young lady in second, again, it was very close. A nice job on that side profile, but at the end, the young lady in first, the animal kind of outlasted yours in terms of being cooperative, but I really like that drive and that brace on the side profile. Good job in getting around the ring in terms of your gait. I'd like to be able to get that head and neck up a little bit better on the move, but otherwise a really, really nice job. We'll touch on the young man here in third. Again, I think a super job on that side profile. I like your hand placement. I like how you brace this goat. You do a really good job of presenting it on the side profile. Sometimes those feet were out of place a little bit. I'd like to do a little bit better job on getting around the ring, but otherwise really, really nice. Really deep class. Congratulations.
Senior showmanship, first place, Grace Burmer. Second, Katie Miller. Third, Bryden Myers. Fourth, Mason Wickard. Fifth, Ivy Bigler. Sixth, Jenna Kirby. Seventh, Becky Koenig. And eighth, Jolene Patton. Next in the ring, intermediate showman, Heat A. First heat up, Blake Barr, Tyler Best, Hannah Buneyes, Colt Cleland, Judd Cleland, Olivia Creek, Emily Deal, Stephanie Drees, Mallory Fagan, Trey Fry, and Brinley Gamble. Each of our age division drives today are sponsored by RHR Board Goats, and they're receiving prize packs from Glenn and Cindy Finkenbinder. Let's put our hands together and thank our sponsors. Thank you for supporting our youth out here today. Intermediate showman, Heat 2, please be at ringside. Caitlin Garvin through Emily Myers. Caitlin Garvin through Emily Myers, please be at ringside. Qualifying for the finals in the intermediates, Blake Barr, Hannah Benez, and Mallory Fagan. Heat 2, into the ring, Caitlin Garvin, Maggie Grove, Blake Getchell, Sam Hester, Sophia Hester, Olivia Homan, Sean Kutz, Allie Lehman, Brayden Miller, and Emily Myers. That's your heat. Intermediate showman, heat 3 to ringside. Jordan Naylor through Kayla Zelafro. Jordan Naylor through Kayla Zelafro to ringside. Qualifying for the intermediate finals, Caitlin Garvin, Maggie Grove, Allie Lehman, and Emily Myers. Heat number 3, Into the ring, Jordan Miller, Hannah Orris, Trinity Pierce, Gretchen Reich, Tanner Smith, Taylor Sturm, Aubrey Watkins, Naomi Wirt, Brindley White, Micah Yingling, Kayla Zell. Junior Showman, we have 3 heats in junior showmanship, 3 heats. Heat 1 is Lane Bruneyes through Levi Geddes. Lane Bruneyes through Levi Geddes. Heat 2, Mackenzie Goodhart through Austin Messick. Mackenzie Goodhart through Austin Messick. And Heat 3, Ethan Messick to Leo Zinn. Once again, junior showman, 3 heats. First one, Lane Bruneyes to Levi Geddes. Qualifying for the finals in intermediate Heat 3, Jordan Naylor, Taylor Sturm, Aubrey Watkins, and Kayla Zelafro. We're now ready for the intermediate showman finals. Into the ring, we need Blake Bear, Hannah Bruneyes, Mallory Fagan, Caitlin Govin, Maggie Grove, Allie Lehman, Emily Myers, Jordan Naylor, Taylor Sturm, Aubrey Watkins, Kayla Zelafro. Once again, our showmanship divisions today are sponsored by RHR Board Goods, and winners in each age division are receiving prize packs from Glenn and Cindy Finkenbinder. Let's give a great big round of applause to all of our intermediate showmen and to our sponsors here today. Thank you so much.
really nice group, especially this top pair and a couple down there. The young man's going to win the drive. I think, again, just he's the most felt-free out here. His goat has worked. His goat sticks and stays there. It's like a statue out here. He does an excellent job of getting that thing square on all fours, and it stays there. He does a nice job of keeping that head and neck up. Super job on that boy. It's really fresh when you come around for the handle. I really like your calm, cool, and collected out here. Great job. Young lady, you did the best in getting around the ring and keeping that head and neck up. Excellent job in terms of the gait and the movement. Really good use of that chain with this goat. Pretty good look on the side profile and brace. What got you into second is that goat moved, and it took you too long to correct it here at the end, and that really kind of was the difference to get you into the second hole. But a really nice job overall throughout the heats and out here getting into that second hole. Young lady here in third, you quietly moved your way up all the way along. Ones that, you did a good job in terms of being fault-free for the most part. What kind of got you pulled out here at the end is he got shortened up on the side profile. We needed to stretch him out a little bit. That's what got you into the third, but a great job in moving around, great job on the brace, great job side profile. Young lady here in fourth, we'll visit with her a minute. Again, throughout the heats, you made it through fairly easily. Really good in terms of propping this goat up. Again, here at the end, your partner just didn't want to play, and maybe the feet placement wasn't as efficient as those above, but a really nice job in terms of the brace and everything. Super set. Congratulations.
Intermediate. Blake Barr, second, Mallory Fagan, third, Jordan Naylor, fourth, Taylor Stone, fifth, Aubrey Watkins, sixth, Caitlin Garvin, seven, Maggie Grove, and eighth, Hannah Buneyes. Next in the ring, Junior Showman, Heat 1, Junior Showman, Heat 1. Lane Buneyes, Emmeline Cleland, Gage Cleland, Lane Barhauer, Madison Fagan, Caleb Fogelsinger, Blake Frayne, Michaela Gaines, Raylan Gaines, Kelsey Garman, Shane Garrett, and Levi Geddes. Brenley Wright, you are needed in the livestock office. Brenley Wright to the livestock office. Junior Showman, Heat 2, ringside, Mackenzie Goodhart through Austin Messick. Mackenzie Goodhart through Austin Messick. Please come to ringside. Qualifying for the finals in junior showmanship, Lauren Buneyes, Lauren Darhauer, Madison Fagan, and Kelsey Garman. Heat 2 into the ring, Mackenzie Goodhart, Clay Greenland, Ashton Gutchall, Charlie Hester, Jordan Kahn, Levi Kiefer, Chris Kelly, Naomi Kutz, Addison Martin, Landon McNeil, and Austin Messick. Junior Showman Heat 3 to ringside, Ethan Messick through Leo Zinn. Ethan Messick to Leo Zinn, please be at ringside. Qualifying for the finals in junior showmanship, Chris Kelly, Addie Martin, and Landon McNew. We're now ready for junior showmanship finals. Just kidding, we got another heat. Heat 3, Ethan Messick, JC Naylor, Sophia Oser, Emma Orris, Karen Smith, Jackson Stoner, Carly Saplee, Carl Wickard, Wade Zimmerman, and Leo Zinn. Qualifying for the finals in junior showmanship, J.C. Naylor, Jackson Stoner, and Carly Saplee. Now we're ready for the junior showmanship finals. Lane Bunnerise, Lane Darhauer, Madison Fagan, Kelsey Garman, Chris Kelly, Addie Martin, Landon McNew, J.C. Naylor, Jackson Stoner, and Carly Saplee.
really nice heat. Then we get down to the top 2 or 3, it gets really difficult to sort, and the goats get tired and they start to get fidgety. So we got to go ahead and make a decision. I'm going to use this young man to win this drive. I think in general, throughout, your side profile has been impeccable. You've been really, really good. You've got that goat stuck. It's been really efficient in that regard. You keep that head and neck up appropriate. You feel really comfortable out here, and I think that makes your goat pretty comfortable as well. Excellent job as you get around the ring. Really nice gait, really good speed. You do a lot of things well to get into the first hole. Young man here at second, I think you're one that you really kind of worked your way up. You were quiet out here. Your goat towards the end was one of those that kind of started getting tired, I think, and kind of gave up on you a little bit, but I think an excellent job of hanging in there. Super good job of those hands, keeping that head and neck up, keeping that 90-degree angle. You do a really good job on the base, really good job getting around the ring. I think it was really close between you and first, but a great job overall. Young lady here in third, I think out of the top 3, your goat to me just sort of seemed the least comfortable of the 3. I'm not sure why that was, but I think it might be maybe you're just really handling him pretty hard, but otherwise a really, really good job in terms of the base. You had a nice side profile. Sure, sometimes those feet got out of place just a couple times, just in relation to those 2 above you, but excellent job in terms of the ring, keeping that head and neck up, good ring awareness. Congratulations. Young lady here in fourth, I love that side profile when you get him stuck, but he just wouldn't play for you 100% on that side profile. Out of the top 4, you had to mess with him the most in terms of getting him reset, but really good job in terms of that front. Probably one of the better one of the top 4 actually in terms of elevating that chest floor, making him look really good from the side profile. Congratulations. On down the line, guys, congratulations, making it through your heat and doing a really good job.
Junior showman, first place, Chris Kelly. Second, Jackson Stoner. Third place, Madison Fagan. Fourth, Carly Saplee. Fifth, Lane Brenner. Sixth, Addie Martin. 7, J.C. Naylor. And 8th, Kelsey Garman. We're now ready for our novice showman. Novice is in 2 heats. 2 heats. Warren Brown to Natalie Kutz into the ring. Warren Brown, Lillian Creek, Faith Deal, Mackenzie Deal, Emma Jean Demisa, Aiden Fogelsinger, Colton Gray, Jace Kelly, and Natalie Kutz. Qualifying one for the finals, Warren, Brown, Lillian, Creek, and J. Heat 2, into the ring. Heat 2, Ava Lopez, Gwen McKee, McKenna McNew, Eli Miller, Lakin Milton, Carson Acker, Presley Whistler, Delaney Smith, Charlie Wheeler, Blake Smith, and Zoe Roberts. Last call, Ava Lopez. Ava Lopez, you need it in the... Qualifying for the finals, Gwen McKee, McKenna McNew, Lakin Milton, Carson Acker, and Charlie Wheeler. We're now ready for the Novice Showmanship Finals. We need Warren Brown, Lillian Creek, Jace Kelly, Gwen McKee, McKenna McNew, Lakin Milton, Carson Acker, and Charlie Wheeler. Attention around the barns, if you bought snack basket tickets with the orange tickets, tangerine orange, here's the number, 202-035, 202-035. If that's your ticket, bring it to the livestock office. We'll get you your basket.
Very nice top pair here. Young man here in front is going to win this drive. I think you did an excellent job throughout. Again, kind of the body of work through the heats and then out here. I think he's really calm out here. You don't really even notice him. He gets that goat set. He does really good with his hands, keeping that goat's head and neck up. Really does well with that 90-degree angle with its neck and its shoulders. Really keeps that goat set really good on all fours. Really nice base. I think a really good overall balanced job, and I think you did a really good job to get into the first hole. Young man, you're definitely a strong second in here. I think at the end, you just kind of didn't go the whole way. Just give me a little bit more, because the beginning of your heat and the beginning of this, you were really, really, really good. You got all the tools to be right there in first place. I think you just need to give it a little bit more go. But a good job in terms of the base, good job in keeping that goat set up, except for here at the end. 1 down, 3, 4, again, great job getting through your heats. Really good, just maybe be a little bit more efficient in terms of getting your feet and legs set up.
Novice showmanship, first place, Jace Kelly. Second, Warren Brown. Third, Lakin Milton. Fourth, William Creek. Fifth, McKenna McNew. Sixth, Carson Ocker. 7, Gwen McKee. And 8th, Charlie Wheeler. We're now ready for our champion showmanship drive. Out of the senior division, we need Grace Brammer. Intermediate, Blake Bear. Junior, Christopher Kelly, and novice, Jace Kelly. Champion showman into the ring. At ringside, we need Mallory Fagan and Jackson Stoner. Mallory Fagan and Jackson Stoner at ringside. Market goat exhibitors, if you are an underweight market goats, you're the first class, please come to ringside. Underweight market goats to ringside.
Really nice Final Four out here representing a really strong showmanship drive that we had throughout the GOAT show here. I think we talked about these kids kind of at length in each of their heats. Obviously, they do all the good things right in terms of getting these goats stuck efficiently, keeping them there, being appropriate use of their hands with the chain, good job getting around the ring, et cetera, et cetera. I think, again, just keep in mind it's a body of work, everything you did in your heats and your champion drive, and then the overall out here. I'll go ahead and show you the one I like the best.
Champion market goat showman goes to Blake Bear. Blake has already qualified for Supreme, so we're going to also ask Chris to excuse from the ring. Chris, you're also qualified. And we're going to bring back Jackson Stoner, and we'll select our representative for Supreme Showmanship. Representing Market Goats for Supreme Showmanship will be Mallory Fagan. Congratulations again to all of our showmen. All right, Market Goat exhibitors, we're ready for our weight classes. First up is our underweights. Olivia Creeks, 126. Emma Jean Demisa, 285. Emma Jean Demisa, 284. Lillian Creek, 129. Gretchen Reich, 158. Charlie Hester, 141. Micah Yingling, 72. Olivia Creek, 125. Austin Messick, 78. Brandon Miller, 62. Taylor Wagner, 175. Becky Cowick, 92. Eli Miller, 64. Naomi Kutz, 271. Brandon Miller, 63. Jolene Patton, 24. Lauren Creek, 128. Shane Garrett, 499. Emma Wagner, 179. And Olivia Kiefer, 160. Again, these are our underweight goats. Lightweight 1, please come to ringside.
underweight class of goats here. I think these couple will sort their way to the top. Definitely this back-headed Dale really, I think, easily wins this drive when you really analyze her. Even though she's underweight, she definitely has some dimension and some shape to her. Really big through that upper hip, really good legged, one that gives us some extra rib shape. Pretty good to look at from the side profile. Really tucked up in that chest floor, one that's really sound off of all four legs to get around the ring. I really like this one to win the drive. Very nice goat. Young lady's goat here in second kind of struck me from the beginning as one that I thought might be up near the top. She's got some extra mass and dimension in relation to the rest of the class. She might just not be as powerful and as level and as robust in her rib and her upper hip as the goat that wins the class, but I think one that gives us some extra dimension and some extra width about her front end to get into that second hole. Young man's goat here in third, a bigger outline kind of goat, really long-sided, has some rib to it. Maybe not the overall structural dimension of those above, but I think one that fits nicely here into the third hole. Young man's goat here is one of the smaller ones in the group out here, but it fits me in terms of his overall build. Sure, this one's super green, but I think going down the line, this is going to be a nice show goat for this young man. Really long and level, really has some rib shape to it. Good off of all fours, I think a quality individual. Nice set of goats to get us started.
Charlie, you dropped your ribbon there, buddy. Results of our lightweight, underweight class. First place, Becky Killick. Second, Jolene Patton. Third, Shane Garrett. Fourth, Charlie Hester. Fifth, Braden Miller. Sixth, Braden Miller. Seventh, Taylor Wagner. And eighth, Austin Messick. Next class in the ring, lightweight 1. Into the ring, Stephanie Drees, 3, 4, 8. Maddie Musser, 4, 6, 5. Bentley Gamble, 200. Emmeline Cleveland, 191. Landon McNew, 4, 5, 6. Ethan Messick, 79. And Faith Deal, 19. Seven goats in this class. All weighing 60 pounds, 6-0. Lightweight 2 to ringside, lightweight 2.
Man's Goat will start this drive. I think one that's really robust in his overall build and his look. One that really comes down out of that rack with some shape, really good and three-dimensional through that line. Really big hip for this weight, really big legged kind of goat. Balances up really nice from that side profile. Gives us an extra shot of bone and foot size as well. I think one that's really sturdy built to get into that first hole. Goat here in second, maybe a little bit bigger outlined, really tall fronted, tall shouldered, longer sided probably. Just simply gives up that structural width and dimension and volume of this goat here in first place, but I really like the build of this one to get into the second hole. On down the line, we just have some greener goats that need a little bit more time on feed to pack on that mass and volume. We're going to go ahead and use this young lady's door kid to win this drive. I think she's neat in terms of her build. She's really good about that front end. She's really shallow about her chest floor. She's got some dimension running out her top. Really good about that center part of her body. Pretty good on all fours in terms of her overall structure and build. I like this one to fairly easily win this class. Young man's weather here will be second. I think obviously he's a little bit more plainer in his type and kind. Probably one that doesn't have as much power throughout. I'd like to give him a little bit more power through his hip and dimension down low. But I think one that's got some rib shape and some natural thickness to get up into this second hole. I think as we get on down into these goats, they're a little bit plainer in their type and kind. Just need a little bit more time to develop and mature.
Lightweight 2, first place, Lakin Milton. Second, Leo Zinn. Third, Sean Cooks. Fourth, Stephanie Drees. Fifth, Colt Cleveland. And sixth, Austin Smith. Lightweight 3, into the ring, Leo Zins, 442. Jenna Kirby, 501. Maddie Musser, 464. Ashton Gutchall, 515. Shane Garrett, 498. Mackenzie Goodhart, 138. Six goats in this class, weighing all 62 pounds. 62 pounds in this class.
Nice pair to start. We're going to use the traditional colored one here to my left to win this drive. Again, I think Ado, the balance is up pretty well. She's good in terms of her front end. She's tall-shouldered. She's one that's got some levelness down her top. She's pretty good in terms of her dimension for this weight. I really like the extra rib shape and depth of side that she offers us today. That kind of excels the class for me. I think a nice piece to start here at first. young lady's black-headed doe here. I really like how elegant she is from the side profile. She's really good made in terms of her shoulder, really good in terms of how that neck comes down into the top of her shoulders. Really good silhouette from that side profile. Maybe one I'd just like to level out through her hip and through her tail head, give her a little bit more power in that upper part of her upper leg in relation to the goat in first, but I think a really nice goat and cool to look at from the side profile. Going down again, we have some goats I think that have some structural issues I'd like to change, but a nice set.
Lightweight 3, first place, Mackenzie Goodhart. Second, Jenna Kirby. Third, Ashton Gutschall. Fourth, Maddie Musser. Fifth, Shane Garrett. And sixth, Leo Zinn. Next class in the ring, lightweight 4. Aiden Fogelsinger, 25. Clay Greenland, 23. Levi Kiefer, 161. Sam Hester, 140. Mackenzie Deal, 497. Kelsey Garman, 14. And Warren Brown, 34. 7 goats in this class weighing 63 to 64 pounds. Lightweight 5 to ringside.
A nice pair to start here. This doe kid that's going to win this drive, again, I think she balances up really well. In the beginning, we got a nice look at her, and the young man had her propped up appropriately. She's good and level from end to end, gives us that extra rib shape. I think one that is sound in her overall structure, really good from end to end to get into that first hole. Really powerful, shapely goat here is in second. One that is really good in terms of its rack shape, three-dimensional loin. I'd just like to give this one a little bit more turn to that rib. I'd like to deepen her out in terms of her flank, but one that sure is fresh and has some power today to get into that second hole. Really nice class. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Yep,
Thank you.
good job.
Lightweight 4, first place, Warren Brown. Second place, Kelsey Garman. Third, Clay Greenland. Fourth, Sam Hester. Fifth, Mackenzie Deal. Sixth, Levi Kiefer. And seventh, Aiden Fogelsinger. Next in the ring, lightweight 5, Lane Bruneyes, 3,500. Hannah Bruneyes, 35-38. Emily Myers, 110. Mitchell Musser, 466. Olivia Homan, 94. Trinity Pierce, 205. Jordan Kahn, 113. 7 goats in this class, all weighing 65 pounds, 6'5". Goat exhibitors up next, lightweight champion. We need first and second from each of our classes at ringside for lightweight champion. Again, first and second from each class to ringside.
Really nice pair to start. I think this young lady is whether excels the class in terms of his overall build and design. He's really good from end to end. He's really fancy, really sets down square on all 4 of those. I love how his front end is built, really tall at that point of its shoulder. Neck comes down into the top of his shoulder. I think one that gives us some dimension running down his top. Really good and really big hip, really good through that lower leg. Super good off of all 4. Gives us an extra shot of bone and footwork. I love the center part of his body to get into the first hole. Really powerful goat here is in second. I do like the rib shape, and I do like the handle this guy has. Maybe he's just not as neat in terms of his overall design and build as our class winner. I'd like to just change his front end just a little bit in relation to that class winner, but again, a really, really fancy, nice goat. Lots of extra rib shape to this guy to get into the second hole. Good class throughout.
Lightweight 5, first place, Hannah Bruneyes. Second, Lane Bruneyes. Third, Mitchell Messer. Fourth, Emma Myers. Fifth, Olivia Homan. Sixth, Jordan Kahn. And 7, Trinity Pierce. We're now ready for the lightweight champion. Out of our first class, Landon McNew and Emmeline Cleland. Second class, Lakin Milton and Leo Zinn. Third class, Mackenzie Goodhart and Jenna Kirby. Fourth class, Warren Brown and Kelsey Gorman. Our class 3 may need to flip-flop. It's down the road. Fourth class, Warren Brown and Kelsey Gorman, and fifth, Hannah Bruneyes and Lane Bruneyes.
Again, a really nice set for our first division, in particular as we get into some of the higher weights. We're getting some that have some appropriate maturity here to evaluate out here today. There's a couple out here that I really like in terms of their build and their overall design. You're going to hear me say that a lot tonight with the goats because that's kind of what I'm looking for. And then when we add in that added shot of extra thickness and dimension, I really like those kind of goats. So we're going to go show you the 2 I like the best.
Champion lightweight goes to Hannah Bruneyes. We'll slide lanes over into that hole and we'll select the reserve. And your reserve goes to Lane Bruneyes. Congratulations, all of our exhibitors. We'll go and clear the ring. Up next, medium weight 1. Mediumweight Carson Archer, 111. Kayla Zelifo, 361. Wade Zimmerman, 153. Blake Bell, 102. Jordan Kahn, 114. Gage Cleveland, 199. And Taylor Sturm, 150. Mediumweight 1 into the ring. 7 goats in this class, all weighing 66 pounds, 6'6". Mediumweight 2 to ringside. Our weight division classes and champion drives today are sponsored by Guilford Goats. Let's put our hands together for our sponsors so far in our show. Thank you so much for supporting our exhibitors. We couldn't do it without you.
Again, another nice pair here at the top of this class, but this young man's brother really excels the class, really when it's built powerfully, really starting his overall feature, when it's really square from end to end, really powerful in terms of his rack shape and his design down through his line, really big in that upper hip. I love the turn to his lower leg when it's really built on a good set of feet and legs, gives us an extra nickel of bone size and foot size as well. I think when you got to like through that center part of his body, really appropriately finished today, fresh, presented very well to get into that first hole. And what is good here in second, I really like the build and design of this one as well. Just not the structural dimension and width of that goat that wins the class. I'd like to give this one a little bit more power up high to run with that goat in first. Otherwise, this is a beautiful goat from that side profile, one that's made really well in terms of its front end, constructed really well throughout, just kind of ran into a hammer in that class winner, but a super goat to come in second.
Mediumweight 1, first place, Blake Bear. Second, Taylor Sturm. Third, Carson Ucker. Fourth, Kayla Zelfo. Fifth, Wade Zimmerman. 6, Gage Cleveland. And 7, Jordan Kahn. Mediumweight 2 into the ring. Emily Deal, 493. Michaela Gaines, 87. Carson Ucker, 112. Micah Yingling, 74. Ashton Getchell, 514. Chris Kelly, 520. And Katie Miller, 307. 7 goats in this class, all weighing 67 pounds, 6'7".
Again, a really nice pair to start this class. Young ladies, Weather here is going to win this drive. Just simply outpowers the one in second. I mean, he's so bold about his ribs, so bold about his top shape. One that you'd love through that center portion of his body. Really fresh out here, really good in terms of hard handling. Definitely excels the class in terms of his hip shape. Just extra good down low in that lower part of his leg. Again, one that's built really, really well. Really good to look at from that side profile. Goat here in second. Again, I love how tall-shouldered he is. In terms of his overall design, he's excellent. Just gets outpowered simply by that goat in first. Give him a little bit more time, and I think he's going to be a really cool cat here in the way that he moves around and the way that he's constructed. A really nice goat to come here in second. A nice class one down the line.
Medium weight 2, first place Katie Miller, second Chris Kelly, third Michaela Gaines, fourth Emily Deal, fifth Ashton Gutschall, sixth Carson Ocker, and seventh Micah Yingling. Next class in the ring, medium weight 3. Kayla Zofo, 362, Troy Fry, 438. Blake Smith, 222. Ivy Bigler, 131. Hannah Orris, 487. Ethan Messick, 81. And Gage Cleland, 198. Medium weight 4 to ringside. Medium weight 4.
Men's weather dude, I think, rises to the top here fairly handily. I think one that's really built really well. He's really shapely about his rack and down his top. Sure, I'd like to give him a little bit more spring to that rib, give him a little bit more volume through that center portion of his body. But in terms of what's out here, I think he's built right. I think he's got enough power and enough look from that side profile in the way his front end is constructed to get into that first hole. Young lady's good here in second. Again, one I really like in terms of its overall build, really tall at the point of its shoulder, good and level down that top. Just again, simply a little bit round for me in terms of its hip shape and doesn't have that turn to its lower leg. I'd like to give a little bit more power throughout in this one in relation to the class winner, but I do like its overall volume and capacity to get into that second hole.
Medium weight 3, first place Troy Fry, second Kayla Zelfo, third Blake Smith, fourth Hannah Orris, fifth Ivy Bigler, sixth Gage Cleland, 7 Ethan Messick. Next class in the ring, medium weight 4. Taylor Wagner, 176. Natalie Kutz, 272. Trinity Pierce, 204. Mackenzie Goodhart, 137. Caleb Fogelsinger, 26. And Naomi Wirt, 484. Six goats in this class, all weighing 69 pounds. 6'9" on the weights here. Medium weight 5 to ringside.
Young lady with the black-headed doe will win this drive. I think this is a higher volume goat out here. She's pretty good about her front end. She's got some dimension running down that top. Sure, she's not going to blow you away with power, but I think she's pretty balanced, pretty good about that center portion of her body. I think she gives us a little bit more power in that upper hip and down low in that lower leg. Coming in second, I think it might be a bigger outlined doe here in second. I'd just like to level her out from end to end and maybe change how she's constructed about her front end, maybe neaten her up there to run with the goat in first.
Medium weight 4, first place Mackenzie Goodhart, second Natalie Kutz, third Naomi Wirt, fourth Taylor Wagner, fifth Caleb Fogelsanger, and sixth Trinity Pierce. Next class in the ring, medium weight 5. Aubrey Watkins, 593, Emily Deal, 494, Caitlin Garvin, 83, Naomi Kutz, 400, Faith Deal, 18, Colt Cleland, 193, Judd Cleland, 188, Zach Beam, 368, and Chris Kelly, 588. Nine goats in this class, weighing 70 and 71 pounds. That's your class. Up next, medium weight champion. We need first and second from each of our classes to ringside for selection of medium weight champion.
young man's weather will win this drive. Really good in his overall build, definitely the freshest handling goat of the drive. Not one that's super duper powerful, but in terms of his overall build, structure, and design, he really blows away this class. I really like him from the point of his shoulder back, really level and square from end to end. One that's got a little extra dimension in terms of his hip and his lower leg. One that's got enough bone and foot size to get into that first hole, I think, fairly handily. Young man with his doe kid here in second. Again, one that's got a lot of rib shape and extra volume to her. She's just soft to the touch today. She's not as fresh as the weather in front of her, but one that sure does have some structural dimension and width. I really like how she travels off of both ends. Again, another class.
Medium weight fair, first place, Chris Kelly. Second, Zach Beam. Third, Judd Cleland. Fourth, Aubrey Watkins. Fifth, Caitlin Garvin. Sixth, Emily Deal. 7, Naomi Coates. 8, Colt Cleland. And 9th, Faith Deal. Next, we're ready for our medium weight champion. Out of the first class, we need Blake Bear and Taylor Sturm. Second class, Katie Miller and Jace Kelly. Third class, Troy Fry and Kayla Zofro. Fourth class, Mackenzie Goodhart and Natalie Kutz. And fifth class, Chris Kelly and Zach Beam.
And another really nice set as we get into our next divisional drive. Again, we have some varying shapes and sizes, but some that are really good in their design and their build and how they're presented out here and the muscle shape and the extra rib that they're giving us. I think it's pretty close in your champion and reserve. I'll go show you the ones I like.
Champion, medium weight 2, Blake Bell will fill the hole with Taylor Sturm and will select a reserve. Katie Miller out of the second class. Congratulations. Go ahead and clear the ring. Congratulations to all of our medium weight exhibitors. Light heavyweight. Light heavyweight 1 into the ring. Light heavyweight 1. Light heavyweight 1. Charlie Wheeler's 475. Zoe Roberts 225. Sean Kutz 268. Natalie Kutz 273. Addie Martin 135. And Naomi Wirt 483. 6 goats in this class, weighing 72 pounds, 7'2". Light heavyweight 2 to ringside. Light heavyweight 2.
And ladies, Weber here is going to win this drive. I think really excels the class in terms of his overall build. I think one that's really tall at the point of his shoulder. Constructed right about that blade. He gives us some extra rib shape, really long-sided, really pretty level as we get down through there. Sure, he's not going to blow away with power, but really excels the class significantly in his overall build and design. Young ladies, Bill Kid coming in next. Will be second. I think, again, one that's really, really good through that center portion of her body. Gives us that extra rib shape. Just maybe one that's not quite as designed as well. One I'd like to just make fancy up just a notch in relation to that class winner. But in terms of volume and structural width, she's a pretty good one.
Light heavyweight 1, first place, Addie Martin. Second, Natalie Kutz. Third, Naomi Wirt. Fourth, Sean Kutz. Fifth, Zoe Roberts. And sixth, Charlie Wheeler. Next class in the ring, light heavyweight 2. Brimley Wrights, 599. Michaela Gaines, 85. Blake Frayne, 440. Presley Whistler, 319. Jace Kelly, 589. Emma Orris, 485. And Sophia Oser, 322. 7 goats in this class, all weighing 73 pounds, 7'3". Light heavyweight 3 to ringside. Light heavyweight 3 to ringside. Attention exhibitors, Cole Wickard. You're needed at your pig pen. Cole Wickard. You're needed at your pig pen. If anybody sees Carl, tell him to go that way right now, please.
Nobody's whether here in front of me will win this drive. I think, again, one that's built correctly, one that looks really good from the side profile, one that's finished appropriately out here. I think one that balances up really well from that side profile, good constructed about his front end, really neat up through that chest floor. I think one that fairly handily wins this drive. Next weather here will be second. I think one that's really robust in terms of his rib shape, really big hip, really big top. Just doesn't tie together as well for me, especially coming out of his front end. I'd like to balance him up just a notch more, maybe give him a little bit more neatness and shallowness up through his chest floor in relation to that class winner, but one that sure is sturdy built to get into that second hole. Really nice class.
Light heavyweight 2, first place, Jace Kelly. Second, Brindley Wright. Third, Blake Friend. Fourth, Sophia Oser. Fifth, Michaela Gaines. Sixth, Presley Rissler. 7, Emma Orris. Light heavyweight 3, into the ring. Madison Fagan, 36. Colton Gray, 51. Blake Getchell, 5'12". Jace Kelly, 5'90". Carly Saplee, 5'98". Presley Rissler, 3'18". Tyler Best, 2'43". Ivy Bigler, 132, and Sarah Homan, 97. Nine goats in this class, weighing 74 to 76 pounds. 74 to 76 pounds.
young ladies, whether he's going to win this drive. I think definitely he's not the fanciest goat out here, but in terms of his overall build and design, he's good enough to get into first, considering that he is by far the most three-dimensional when you get into his top. He's really fresh today. He's really firm to the touch. He's appropriately presented. He's super deep as you analyze him running down his top. Definitely the biggest hip one in my mind. Carries that way down low in that lower leg. I think a really powerful goat that's really presented well, and again, the freshest one in my mind out here today to get into that first hole. Goat here in second, I really like his build, I really like his design and his look. He's close in terms of that class winner, but just gives up too much when you analyze him running down his top, particularly through his hip. He gets outpowered in relation to that goat in front. But one in terms of his overall build, design, feet and legs, really good to get into that second hole. I'm going to talk quickly about the one in third, similar to the one in second. Really good in his build and his design. Just simply for me today, simply too soft to the touch. We need to get him pumped up a little bit more, make him a little bit more freshly presented, and I think the story is different.
Light heavyweight 3, first place Madison Fagan, second Tyler Best, third Jace Kelly, fourth Ivy Bigler, fifth Carly Saplee, sixth Presley Rissler, 7 Colton Gray, 8 Sarah Holman, and 9th Blake Gutchall. Next class in the ring, light heavyweight 4. Aubrey Watkins, 592. Zoe Roberts, 224. Cohen Smith, 69. Brindley Gamble, 201. Allie Lehman, 360. Colton Gray, 52. And Raylan Gaines, 84. 7 goats in this class. Seven goats in this class, weighing 77 to 78 pounds. Light heavyweight 5 to ringside. Light heavyweight 5 to ringside.
And ladies, whether goat is going to win this class very easily for me. Good in his overall build and design, but one that sure is good to that handle and touch, fresh to the touch, really three-dimensional in that loin and that hip shape. One that gives us some extra depth aside, extra burst to his rib as you study him through the center portion of his body. One that's good off of all fours in terms of how he moves and how he sets down on those legs. I think a really nice goat to start the drive here. Young man's weather here will be second. One is just plainer in his type and kind in relation to the class winner, but the one that most closely follows in terms of his overall width and dimension. Gives us some spring to his rib, but again, just a notch plain as you handle him running down his top. Real nice class throughout.
Light heavyweight 4, first place Allie Lehman, second Aubrey Watkins, third Zoe Roberts, fourth Brindley Gamble, 5th Raylan Gaines, 6th Colton Gray, and 7th Cohen Smith. Next class in the ring, light heavyweight 5. Levi Geddes, 316. McKenna McNew, 454. Sarah Homan, 96. Emily Myers, 108. Mitchell Musser 467, Delaney Smith 223, and J.C. Naylor 39. 7 goats in this class weighing 79 and 80 pounds.
And ladies, whether here in front of me will win this drive, I think again one that excels the class in his overall build is a super powerful move, but he's got enough dimension running down that top, and you combine that with a really good from the side, good look, from the side profile. His front end is constructed really well. I think he's the shyest and probably the neatest, definitely the top player out here in that overall design. I really like him to get into the first hole. One way he's good here in second, really one that's got a lot of spread to him as you analyze him running down his top. Really robust in terms of his rib shape and depth of side. Just one that gets a little bit coarser made about his front end. I'd like to neaten him up, especially down through his chest floor in relation to the class winner, but one that sure does have a whole lot of width and dimension when you study him from top to bottom. Really nice class.
Light heavyweight 5, first place J.C. Naylor, second McKenna McNew. Third, Levi Geddes. Fourth, Delaney Smith. Fifth, Mitchell Musser. Sixth, Emily Myers. And seventh, Sarah Homan. We're now ready for light heavyweight champion. Out of the first class, Addie Martin and Natalie Kutz. Second class, Jace Kelly and Burnley Wright. Third class, Madison Fagan and Tyler Best. Fourth class, Allie Lehman and Aubrey Watkins. And your fifth class, J.C. Naylor and McKenna McNew. Heavyweight 1 to ringside. Heavyweight 1.
Light heavyweight drive here. I think we definitely have some consistency through here in terms of how they're built, how they're designed, etc. I think there's a couple out here that just excel in terms of how much volume they have and how much mass they have and how fresh they are in terms of the rest of the goats that are out here being presented today. I'll show you the two that I like best.
Light heavyweight champion Madison Fagan will pull in Tyler Best to that hole. We'll drive for reserve. Happy birthday, Madison. And Tyler Best, reserve champion, light heavyweight. Congratulations. All right, we'll clear the ring. Great job, guys. Heavyweight wins. Let's get in the ring. Here we go. Heavyweight 1, Cole Rickard, 379. Hannah Orris, 488. Mackenzie Deal, 495. Jackson Reich, 157. Mallory Fagan, 32. Wade Zimmerman, 152. McKenna McNew, 453. Austin Smith, 209. And Sophia Oser, 320. 9 goats in this class. Weights are 81 to 83 pounds, 81 to 83. Heavyweight 2 to ringside.
Young ladies, whether they win this drive, when it's built really well from that side profile, when it's not going to blow away with power when you analyze that top, but when it's definitely the pressure of the bench out here, when it's got some rib shape, pretty sound in its overall structure, how it moves out on both ends. I think when it's level enough from end to end, made well enough about its front end, I think to fairly easily get into this first hole. Young man's down here in second. Again, when it's just a little plainer and it's type and kind. Again, I really appreciate the rib shape and the volume and depth of side that this door offers us. Just simply not the show ring appeal and freshness of the class winner, but a nice overall sound functional goat to come into second.
Heavyweight 1. First place, Mallory Fagan. Second place, Carl Wickard. Third, Sophia Oser. Fourth, McKenna McNeil. Fifth, Wade Zimmerman. Sixth, Hannah Orris. 7, Mackenzie Deal. 8th, Jackson Reich. And 9th, Austin Smith. Next class in the ring, heavyweight 2. Blake Gutchell, 513. Warren Brown, 33. Blake Frayne, 439. Sophia Hester, 142. Becky Koenig, 93. Sophia Hester, 143. Lane Darhauer, 472. Jordan Naylor, 44.
My name's Brian Weather here is going to win the drive. One that's really good to the touch, really fresh, really represented out here. One that's got some extra middle to him. Sure, I'd like to change how he comes out of that shoulder into his top, maybe level him out a notch from end to end. But he's simply got too much power and freshness to not win this class out here. One that's pretty good off of both ends in terms of on the move. I think one that's really good in his overall build and design to get into that first hole. One lady's Weather here coming next. Again, another one that's really good in terms of his build, tall-shouldered, pretty good to the touch. I'd like to give this one more power, especially out through his tail head, just level him out a notch from end to end, give him more power down low in terms of his leg in relation to the class winner. That's where the difference is for me here today, but I think a really nice one in terms of his overall build to get into the second hole.
Heavyweight 2, first place Warren Brown, second Jordan Naylor, third Becky Koenig, fourth Blake Frayne, fifth Blake Gutchall, sixth Lane Darhauer, seventh and eighth Sophia Hester. Next class in the ring, heavyweight 3, Madison Fagan 35, Katie Miller 306, Glenn McKee 276, Brindley White 600, Mason Rickard 376, Addie Martin 136, and Tanner Smith 221. Brindley White, we need goat number 600 to the ring. Goats in the ring weigh 90 to 94 pounds. 90 to 94 pounds. Heavyweight 4 to ringside. Heavyweight 4.
A nice pair at the top, but this young lady's weather in front of me just so much excels the class in terms of his build. So elegant about that front end. He's really so good in terms of his shyness and neatness of that chest flare. What is really tall about the point of his shoulder. Really long and level from end to end. Definitely one that gives you enough dimension and look running down that top. When you handle him, he's really fresh. He's really big in that upper portion of his hip. One that really carries that down low into the lower part of his leg. I really like the center part of his body. A lot of good things about him in terms of his overall look and design. Really wide base and good built and good on the move. Young lady's weather here in second. I really like in terms of overall product and dimension. Really good when you get your hands on him. Just I'd like to change in it just a notch about how his front end is made in relation to a class winner. I just need to tuck that chest flare up just a little bit more. Maybe shorten his blade a little bit. The one that sure does have some power and some rib shape throughout. Carries that down through a big hip and a big leg. A really nice and good presented project.
Heavyweight 3, first place Katie Miller, second Madison Fagan, third Addie Martin, fourth Gwen McKee, fifth Mason Wickard, and sixth Tanner Smith. While he's in the ring, we're going to go ahead and present our grand champion rate of gain. Tanner Smith with 221 is your winner this year. Our rate of gain champion is sponsored by Todd Umbrella Auctioneering, and Tanner's goat gained 0.53 pounds per day, 0.53 pounds per day. Congratulations, Tanner. Great job, buddy. Heavyweight 4 into the ring. Grace Barmer, 37. J.C. Naylor, 40. Gwen McKee, 277. Mason Rickard, 375. Olivia Holman, 95. Tyler Storm, 149. Maggie Grove, 343. Brandon Myers, 5'8". Jackson Stoner, 49. Nine goats in this class, 96 to 98 pounds. 96 to 98 pounds. Heavyweight 5 to ringside.
really nice weather here to win this drive. I think in terms of build, he really blows the class away. Really greatly constructed about that front end. One that's got some dimension and some mass running down his top. I think really he's got a big hip, big leg to him. One that's got some center body to him. Again, one that I really like from that side profile and his overall look and design. Another fresh guard is here in second. Maybe one that's a notch taller shouldered. Just maybe one that doesn't tie together from end to end quite as smoothly and as balanced as our class winner. The one that sure is freshly presented and a really good job out here in terms of bringing him here. He's really smooth and easy on that gate. I'll touch on the gate here in third. Again, another one I really like, really square made from end to end. Just maybe a little bit more disappointing when you get your hands on him in relation to those two above that are just a notch more fresh, maybe a little bit, that gives us a little bit of added dimension, but I think we should be proud of this goat.
Heavyweight 4, first place Taylor Storm, second Grace Brammer, third Jackson Stoner, fourth Braden Myers, fifth Olivia Holman, sixth Maggie Grove, 7 Mason Wickard, 8 Glenn McKee, and 9 JC Naylor. Heavyweight 5 into the ring, Charlie Grove 342, Lane Daher 474, Landon McNeil 455, Caitlin Garvin 86, Cole Rickard 377, Lincoln Milton 41, and Jordan Naylors 43. 7 goats in this class weighing 99 to 106. 99 to 106.
It is whether we'll win this drive, and again, another one I think that's fairly handily. This one's built very well, really good about that shoulder. One that's probably the freshest out here in terms of when you get your hands on him and his condition. He's really shapely and robust down that top. Got a good, nice rib to him. Is he the fanciest goat we've seen today? No, probably not. But I think he's really functional. I think he's really sound. I think he's really soft-knitted. A lot of good things about him. And again, in a really nice balanced package to get into that first hole. That man's going here in second. Again, I like the build of him as well. He's just a little bit soft for me today. I like the center body to him, but he's just got to be a little bit fresher for me. Give a little bit more dimension running down that top. Maybe gets out horse in terms of his hip and his lower leg in relation to that class winner, but a nice goat coming into second.
Heavyweight 5, first place Jordan Naylor, second Landon McNeil, third Charlie Grove, fourth Lakin Milton, fifth Cole Rickard, sixth Lane Dahlauer, and 7 Caitlin Garvin. We're now ready for our heavyweight champion. Out of the first class, Mallory Fagan and Cole Rickard. Second class, Warren Brown and Jordan Naylor. Third class, Katie Miller and Madison Fagan. Fourth class, Taylor Sturm and Grace Burmer. And your fifth class, Jordan Naylor and Landon McNew.
As we're getting into our heavyweights, definitely we got some bigger weights here. We have some that are definitely further along in their condition, but I think they're all kind of similar. I think we found the ones that are the freshest that we could. I think we found some ones that are really, really good in their build. In fact, I think a couple of them have some elite pieces out here, and I've been happy to judge them. We're just in our heavyweight drive here, but I'll go ahead and show you the ones that I like best.
Grand champion heavyweight goes to Katie Miller. We'll put Madison's in that hole and we'll select a reserve. Reserve goes to Taylor Sturm. Congratulations, we'll clear the way. Great job. We're now ready for Grand Champion Market Goat. Lightweight champion Hannah Bruneyes and reserve Lane Bruneyes. Mediumweight champion Blake Bear and reserve Katie Miller. Light heavyweight champion Madison Fagan and reserve Tyler Best. Heavyweight champion Katie Miller and reserve Taylor Sturm. Market Goat exhibitors, at the conclusion of our champion drive, we are going to select pair of 2 market goats. If you entered that class, make sure you have your 2 goats ready at ringside and bring them to the ring.
It's been a long day. I appreciate all the ring help and the announcers here and everybody back in the barn keeping everything moving today, and I hope that we've been efficient enough here in getting through these, and it's been a fun day. Appreciate all the exhibitors, and I think this might be the first time in a long time I'm about to lose my voice. So I'm going to say there's just some really good goats out here. I said it in the heavyweight drive. I think there's some that are really upper echelon and some that have some really nice pieces. So again, I think you should be proud of your goat show. Same way with your sheep show today. So thanks for having me. I'll go show you your champion in reserve.
Grand champion market goat goes to Katie Millers. Heavyweight, we slide Taylor Storm into the hall. We'll select our reserve grand champion. Reserve grand goes to Blake Bear of the medium weights. Our grand champion, reserve grand champions are sponsored by Creekview, Goat Ranch, Glenn, and Cindy Finkenbinder. We still got powers to go, but let's give all of our exhibitors, our judge, our sponsors, all of our ring help volunteers, and our parents a great big round of applause. Thank you so much for coming out today. Exhibitors, pair of 2 market goats. Get in the ring, let's go. Last call for pair of 2 market goats. Last call for pairs. Thank you so much for coming out to our show tonight.